A man is riding forward on a pipe, frequently looking back as if he's avoiding something terrifying. Meanwhile, a mysterious force underground is moving quickly. The man, frightened, hurriedly speeds up, but the pipe has come to an end. The thing underground is rushing towards him quickly. The man looks at a car not far away. He plans to step over the oil barrels, but before he can jump a few steps, the monster behind him speeds up. The man is directly knocked to the ground. Before he can react, he's swallowed by the monster. Then, the monster disappears. Not long after, the deputy from the oil field finds Deshawn. He is famous for hunting monsters before. The oil field has been forced to shut down due to consecutive worker casualties. The deputy wants to ask Deshawn for help to get rid of the monster. Deshawn refuses without a second thought. Do you know how dangerous that monster is? You might lose your life. Unexpectedly, they not only offer explosives and weapons but also money. This isn't just about money. Well, I just want to ask, how much can you offer? After confirming that killing one would earn $50,000, Deshawn leaves the room. After finishing the last sip of wine, he smashes the bottle. He tells the person in charge. Xiaoshe is a big fan of Deshawn and hopes to become his assistant. Deshawn takes a look and agrees. Maybe when the monster eats you, I'll have a chance to escape. Soon, they arrive at the oil field. The person in charge tells them that if they can capture one alive, the reward will double. Seeing all kinds of advanced military weapons, Xiaoshe is very excited. Deshawn is still a bit worried. After all, this isn't child's play. At this moment, the beautiful Mary walks over. The moment Deshawn sees her, all his worries disappear, and he's even happy. He adjusts his belt. At night, he and Mary study the map. The next day, they officially start the capture. The car is equipped with advanced detection equipment to monitor the monster's movements at all times. After arriving at the valley where the monster might appear, they drop a large iron chain from the back of the car. The chain is covered with iron cans. When dragged by the car, it makes a loud noise because the monster locates by sound. After the car circles a few times, there's movement on the instruments. A monster is rushing towards them quickly. Quickly taking out the remote-controlled car, they attached a few detonators to it. Under Deshawn's control, the car headed straight for the monster. The monster suddenly leapt out and swallowed the car in one gulp. Deshawn quickly pressed the detonator. With a loud bang, the monster was blown to bits. Amidst a rain of debris, $50,000 easily went into their pockets. Next, they repeated the process. With explosion after explosion, in just half a day, they earned hundreds of thousands of dollars. During a break, Xiaoshe accidentally dropped the radio on the ground. After a cry and a noise, only a pit was left where the radio had been. In the evening, they rested on a rock, planning to continue their bombing work. While discussing how to spend so much money, Xiaoshuai's umbrella was blown to the ground. Just as he got out of the car to pick it up, he suddenly heard music from the radio. It turned out the monster had returned. A monster suddenly emerged behind Xiaoshe, scaring him into quickly jumping onto the pickup truck. The monster, unable to eat Xiaoshe, swallowed the chain at the back of the truck instead. Meanwhile, the chain slowly went underground. Then, the pickup was dragged along. Deshawn hurriedly climbed back into the driver's seat, but stepping hard on the gas was useless. Even with Deshawn pressing the brake pedal all the way down, they were still being dragged by the monster, and the speed was increasing. Xiaoshe fired his gun wildly, but it had no effect. Seeing a cliff ahead, both of them were scared out of their wits. Fortunately, the monster suddenly stopped. Before they could celebrate, the monster turned with the chain, and the truck started racing again. As the monster pulled them towards a large rock, the chain snapped, and the pickup stopped on top of the rock. Luckily, neither of them was hurt, and the truck wasn't damaged. However, the instruments showed a large wave of monsters approaching. They hurriedly drove away. To completely eliminate these monsters, Deshawn contacted a former hunter friend. The hunter, with an impressive arsenal and a love for hunting various monsters, immediately agreed. Soon, he drove to Deshawn's place, bringing a truckload of more advanced weapons. After arriving at the valley, they planned to split up. Using Deshawn's method, the hunter quickly blew up the first one. The instruments showed a monster moving away from them, and the two hurried. They drove after it, but the monster suddenly leapt out in front of the car. In a panic, Deshawn reversed, but accidentally slid down the hill, completely wrecking the car. When they got back to the surface, they found the monster lying on the ground, barely alive. Xiaoran tested the monster with a small car, but there was no reaction. Could the monster be sick? Brave Xiaoshe even ran up to touch it. Seeing the monster still there, Xiaoshe got even more excited. This meant they could capture it alive. Because the reward for capturing it alive was 100,000 Deshawn, they quickly contacted the base to have them drive over and take the creature away. The two waited until evening, with the courtyard constantly echoing the monster's roars. When they went over to check, the monster was no longer moving. They saw the terrifying monster's belly, which seemed to have been hollowed out by something. It probably wasn't eaten by something, because it wouldn't happen so quickly. Deshawn guessed that something must have crawled out. At this time, the radio signal was also gone. Nearby, The monster's sounds kept coming. Fortunately, they saw the Bassie's vehicle approaching. However, the vehicle stopped a mile away and didn't move. The two had to walk over to check. As they got closer, they saw a bizarre scene. The front of the car was split in half, and the engine was torn to pieces. Of the rescuers, only 2 arms were left. The two were scared out of their wits. Seeing a signal tower not far away, they decided to go check it out. Maybe there would be a signal there. Meanwhile, the hunter's radio signal was also gone. He drove around aimlessly, searching for a signal. Even the instruments showed no trace of the creature. When Dashin and the others arrived at the signal tower, the place was a mess. Fortunately, there was a car nearby. Before they could start the car, the monster's sounds echoed again. Then, the tiles on the ground started to shake. Look closely, this is an evolved ancient creature. Although it has shrunk a lot, it has grown 2 long legs. It looked like an ostrich with eyebrows. The monster suddenly charged at them, and the two hurriedly fired their guns. The monster was shot and fell dead. As they approached to check, another monster appeared nearby. They quickly drove away. Then, 3 monsters emerged. When the hunter stopped to check the map, several monsters suddenly appeared outside the car. On the 4th day at dawn, Mary was with. While chatting with colleagues, a monster bit his thigh, and in no time, he was dragged away. Marissa crouched in the corner, trembling. At this moment, Deshawn and Xiaoshe returned. As they were about to drive away, they found a monster tearing at the engine. Deshawn shot the monster in the head. The 3 hurried back inside. Shortly after, the hunter drove back. His car was in terrible shape. Not only did the hunter break through the siege, but he also captured one alive. After some research, they discovered the monsters have no eyes or ears and rely on infrared sensors in their heads to lock onto targets. This is why they damaged the engine and signal tower. Xiaoshe gave the monster a biscuit. After eating it, the monster quickly produced a small monster. This indicates they are hermaphrodites and can reproduce as long as they are well fed. Just as they were excited, a monster broke through the window. Through the window, they saw the warehouse was already full of them, and they hurriedly ran to another warehouse. Once inside, they were dumbfounded. The warehouse had already been torn apart by the monsters. They used the door as a shield and slowly moved, preparing to start another car, only to find a monster there. The hunter took out a powerful gun and, crying, shot the monster, breaking its heart. When they reached the car, they found that the engine had been pierced by the powerful shot from earlier. At this moment, the monster spotted them again. The hunter quickly hid in the car's trunk. The 3 climbed onto the oil tank. To their surprise, the monsters had evolved to be very smart and even learned to stack themselves. Just as they were about to be caught, the hunter jumped out of the trunk. He quickly ran towards the warehouse. The monsters noticed and chased after him. The hunter swiftly closed the back door and then ran to shut the entrance. Just when they thought they had finally solved the problem, they remembered all the food was inside the warehouse. Given the rate at which they reproduce when full, they would soon burst the warehouse. At this moment, Deshawn came up with an idea and sprayed a fire extinguisher filled with dry ice. Then, he walked into the warehouse, and the extremely low temperature indeed had an effect. In front of the monsters, he seemed invisible. But as he moved, the ice layer on his body began to fall off. At this moment, the monsters spotted him again. Deshawn quickly took out the bomb remote and set it up. After the countdown, he climbed out of the window using the fire escape. The group hurriedly ran to a distance and hid in a trench. The monster was about to break through the warehouse. With a loud explosion, the entire warehouse was blown to bits. After a shower of debris, everything was over. In total, 28 monsters were killed. Deshawn is going to make a fortune again this time. From then on, he and Mary lived a shamelessly happy life. The movie, Tremors 2 Feet ends here. A 109-minute sci-fi film. Although the monster effects don't look great now, they were quite impressive back then. Alright. If you want to see more great movie reviews, please follow me. Bye bye.
Yeah.